my cats.
It was foisted.
Yep.
That's what you do with cats.
Thrust upon them.
You foist them upon people.
That's right.
That's the verb.
Okay,
To
Karina.
foist.
Karina, what's your vote? So I'm voting for 3.
Well, I'll
Mark's,
go for 3.
Okay.
I see merit in 3.
That's a tie then.
yeah. So we
It's
got 2 for
selfish
3,
to
2
be
for
first
5.
society.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Like life, it's a toss-up.
Yeah. There's a picture of the cat. The only picture that has been really distinct, other than the ones of beer. Oh shit. Windows 10.
Ah, there's the cat.
You accept the offer of the kitten and hang up shortly after making arrangements for when your coworker can drop her off tonight. After hanging up, you worry about if you've suddenly taken on a responsibility you can't handle, and hope you don't make a small animal suffer for it. You're not entirely sure what to expect, and you spend the rest of the afternoon researching cat care online and trying to think of a name. Okay, you guys try to think of a name. The evening rolls around and you hear a knock at your door, startling you out of your reading Wikipedia entirely too hard. You take possession of a small, terrified black and white kitten in a carrier, along with everything you need to start taking care of her. You take her into your bedroom, close the door, and open the door to the carrier. You take her into your bedroom, close the door, and open the door to the carrier excitedly. She cowers in the back of it, and you back off. Feeling slightly defeated, you remember what you researched, introducing a kitten into a new home, and leave her alone to go mess around on your computer, hopefully checking over your shoulder every so often if she comes out yet. She hides inside her carrier, periodically making sorrowful cat howls long enough for you to start worrying that she already doesn't like you. But by the time you go to bed, she's curled up at the foot of it, eyeing you nervously before falling asleep. Over the next few days, you gain her trust, and she begins affectionately following you around, sleeping on you and hopping up on you any time you sit down to do some work.
Walking on the keyboard, knocking stuff off of the desk.
Pretty much, yeah. That's how they get to you.
They just put that part in parentheses at the end there.
Yeah. That was actually one of the things.
Asterisk.
Shoving their butt in their face.
Yeah, I used to kind of like it when I'd leave my desk and then I'd come back and Walnut would be on my keyboard back when we were at the Execution Labs offices, because my keyboard was like the highest point in the office because I used a standing desk. So he'd make his way up there. I actually can't remember how, because for a while my desk was like freestanding.
Cats are good at that.
Yeah. It's late Friday afternoon, and quitting time is just around the corner. A bright, clear day is giving way to a still, temperate evening. You can hear your coworkers all around you anxiously making plans for their evenings and weekends, but you're really looking forward to just going home and resting after what's turned out to be a very long and taxing work week. And to see your cat, of course. Just before the end of your shift, you get a call from Alex. It seems a group of mutual friends are heading out to a nearby pub for dinner and drinks to celebrate the end of the week, and they want to know if you'd like to come along. You tentatively tell her that you're emotionally exhausted from the work week, and a social outing like that would just take too much out of you today. You encourage her to go and have a good time, since you know it's been a while since she's gone out with friends, but the effort feels futile since you know she isn't going to go without you. Oh, that Alex. A couple of hours later, the two of you find yourselves in a familiar position, on the couch watching comedy shows on Netflix, a box of pizza open on the coffee table in front of you. As you look across the couch at her, you start to feel anxious. You feel bad about effectively forcing the two of you to stay in tonight, again. While you're always appreciative of your partner's efforts to take your feelings into account and help make sure you're socially comfortable, you sincerely worry that you're holding her back from enjoying a more fulfilling relationship. While she does seem to enjoy spending time with you, as the two of you sit in comfortable, almost contented silence watching old shows you've seen 2 or 3 times before, your ever-increasing fear that your relationship is becoming one-sided weighs more and more heavily on you. You feel more than ever like a burden or a ward to her. It's virtually impossible for you to see what value you could possibly offer to her in return. Worst of all, this nagging fear has made you feel more self-conscious than ever, withdrawing ever inwards, and you've started to pull away, even from Alex herself. What do you do? Ask her if she's happy with the relationship, or don't say anything. You're already worried.
Oh. Communication.
Yeah, I gotta ask.
Mhm.
Yeah. With these 1 and 2, I haven't been reading these out, but like I said, the good choices. You know, despite the bad times, your girlfriend sincerely loves you. Relationships are a two-way street, and you resolve to always be there for her like she has been there for you. Nope. Tell Alex how important she is to you and enjoy your evening. Nope. Let's start a conversation. You look over at Alex, who hasn't noticed you watching her yet. You try to parse the expression on her face. You're worried that it's one of sheer boredom and bare tolerance. You wonder if she's thinking about all the fun things she could have been doing tonight if she wasn't trapped on this couch with you, ordering from one of the same 3 takeout places you always order from. A sense of disappointing her creeps over you as you picture what the night could have been if you had just accepted the invitation that she had made earlier. I know this is pretty boring Friday night for you. Are you really happy being with me, being like this? She turns to look at you, forehead wrinkled. Why do you ask me that so often? You feel her body stiffen and pull away from yours just a little. Well, I mean, you start but are unable to try and think of how to answer. It's probably silly, but it's reassuring when I hear that we're on the same page. I want to make sure I'm right for you. I know it's not what you'd usually be up to. I don't know. I guess I kind of worried that you're getting bored sometimes. Never mind.
4, I guess.
Yeah, that's my... Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, that's good.
Alex sighs. Look, if that were the case, I'd let you know. I don't think you're boring. You're more of a homebody than I am. I'm learning how to deal with that. Deal with it, you think? That's what I would think, too. Deal with it, you think? Repeating it in your mind. Does she see you as a problem to be dealt with? You try to pick her reply apart in your mind, and all of your conclusions lead to your previous worry that you're holding her back. You begin thinking the phrasing was chosen without too much deliberation, and that despite her attempts at reassuring you, this slip of the tongue revealed her true feelings. As you picture how much fun she would be having right now if you'd only accepted her invitation and managed to somehow get over your reservations and anxieties, despite not knowing how you would go about that, she cuddles back up to you. Thanks for putting up with me, you say, staring at the TV without actually watching it. She sighs in response. Well, so I think that would be more of a, thanks for putting up with me. Just blank stare.
Yeah.
It is a breezy Sunday afternoon. You've allowed Amanda, an old friend from school that is in town for the week, to talk you into leaving the house for coffee and catch up. You meet her in a small cafe and talk about what you've been up to since the last time you've seen each other. You can't help but feel like they're a lot more accomplished and interesting than you are while listening to them talk about their life after school. While it's your turn to brief them on your activities, you feel anxious and ashamed and give a very abbreviated version. You try to talk about your job as little as possible, and you feel incredibly boring while you describe it, despite her expressing sincere interest in you and your life. Amanda has known you long enough to read your mood and tone of voice. She leans in to ask a question while gently touching your hand, a look of genuine concern on her face. What's wrong? Do you? Suggest a change of location and confide in her honestly. Nope. Test the waters and open up a little, hoping she'll understand. Nope. Insist that nothing is wrong and change the subject. Defensively ask what she means by that. Notice that your hands are shaking.
You gotta fix your microphone, Steve.
Okay.
Number 5 is a little non-eventful.
Yeah. Number 4. Get all up in her grill.
Yeah, let's give this one a try. We don't have too much longer of this game, so let's, push the limit a little.
But we're not in the recovery phase yet.
Are the status at the bottom supposed to change?
Yeah, I think this story goes on.
We haven't gotten quite far enough.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I think it's worth playing. I quite like this game. And I think I said it before the stream or maybe at the beginning of the stream that the blocking off of choices I think is the best thing this game does. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty well-known little game. It's gotten a lot of acclaim. It's won some awards, but it's also gotten a lot of press just for the way it handles depression. I think because it's so um, obviously there's a lot of like reading and almost considering of choices, and as a group, I think you can kind of see like we don't really agree on a lot of the choices. We're just kind of agreeing on one for the sake of moving forward. But I think it might be a little bit more personal to play for yourself if you guys have a chance.
Yeah.
I guess it's worth mentioning the game was made actually by she goes under the Twitter handle Unburnt Witch, but yeah, she's like a pretty well-known game dev. She's got a whole bunch of different sort of games underneath her. She wrote a book called Crash Override, which is actually really interesting. So yeah, worth checking her out. Unburnt Witch on Twitter. But yeah, I don't know if we have any more time to look at the last bit of this game, or if we should move on to the next one.
Is that a new Twitter handle? Because it wasn't that before.
It is.
Probably.
Yes,
Is, yeah.
I don't want to make any assumptions, but yeah, there was a new one made for some good reason. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where you can track her down now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's Zoe Quinn, for anyone watching,
Yes.
is the creator
Wasn't
of this
sure
game.
whether-
Yeah, and I think, I don't know. Well, she got a lot of shit on the internet. It was pretty terrible what happened to
The
her.
whole
Yeah, I don't
political
think
can
she's
of
in
worms, so-
hiding or anything. Yeah, she's not in hiding or anything. She just needs to clean up the account. But no, she's pretty outspoken. She has actually a really interesting stream if you guys are sort of looking for interesting gaming content as well. But yeah, this is a game that got a lot of attention. I think she was pretty much the brain behind it. So very cool.
Yeah, this was
Alrighty.
the first I'd ever heard of her actually when I played this game, and then later on when I heard the whole kerfuffle or whatever you'd want to call it, the terribleness that followed. It was really sad because you saw people like giving this game shit, and I felt really strongly that this game was great. Like, oh, it's not a game. No, this is totally a game, and it uses gameplay mechanics in a way that is super illustrative of depression.
Yeah, it's definitely something different. Okay, cool. Do you guys want to take a quick break before switching over to Elude? Because I know, Steven, you're going to stream that one as well, I believe.
Am I? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a web game, right?
Yeah, it's a web game.
Tis. So if you want to pause while you get that
Sure.
queued up.
Hold on a second, though. You guys were excited about scaring Amanda, and let's see if you accomplish that.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Do you think something's wrong with me? You start to feel incredibly insecure, and realization creeps over you. Something you had said in your conversation made it seem like you were defective to her, and you find yourself feeling incredibly exposed. Amanda pulls away and apologizes profusely. Oh no, I didn't mean anything by that. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. You apologize as well and say that it's probably because you haven't been sleeping well. She tries to steer the conversation to one of mutual interest while you're still feeling incredibly embarrassed and vulnerable. You find it hard to focus on what she's actually saying because you're busy analyzing your behavior in your own head and making small talk. The awkward undertone remains, and the outing ends soon after that. I think that's something I've definitely had a problem with, is sometimes being too much in your own head and too much in the future than in the moment itself. So, all right, can we get help? Can we get help? Lies.
Yeah, are we allowed help?
Tell him about tooth grinding problem. Oh, maybe we're talking to a doctor. Next. We don't know what's going on. Can we get a checkbox? Oh my god.
What are you trying to do?
We're chatting with someone online. Oh, we talked to someone.
I have no idea what's happening anymore.
Steven's giving us the quick version.
I don't know what's going
So
on.
you get like less and less choices. At certain points, you just don't get any choices.
Yeah, it
Seems
seems like
so.
sometimes you're just advancing.
Yeah.
This reminds me a little bit of I don't know if you guys remember. There's an article that's something to the effect of like 10 lies your depression tells you, or something like that. And it's kind of written in a way where you kind